In this video, we dive deep into the shocking story of the 10 Chinese mechanics operating illegally at Wholehearted Car Services in Ferry Pen, Jamaica. They had no valid work permits, yet hundreds of Jamaicans lined up from early as 3 a.m. to get their cars serviced. Why did the Labor Ministry shut them down? Who is the mysterious 876 man who promised fake permits? And what does this scandal reveal about Jamaica's broken system? We break it all down with expert political analysis, humor, and real Jamaican drama. Watch to the end and join the conversation in the comments. Now, picture this. Imagine waking up at 3 a.m., lining up in the dark just to fix your car, only to find out the mechanics fixing it aren't even legally allowed to touch it. By the end of this video, you'll understand why this scandal is a ticking time bomb that's about to blow up way bigger than anyone expects. Stay tuned. In the quiet dark mornings of Ferry Pen, St. Catherine, hundreds of desperate Jamaican motorists line up, praying for a miracle, or at least an affordable mechanic that doesn't cost them off. And then they found salvation, a miracle from the East, the Chinese mechanics at Wholehearted Car Services. Fast, efficient, polite, and way cheaper than local Jamaican mechanics. There was just one tiny little problem. None of them are legally allowed to work in Jamaica. Buckle up, because what you're about to hear will make you question how deep this rabbit hole really goes. Serious question. Are Jamaican mechanics too salty because the Chinese team exposed how bad the service was? Speak your mind in the comments. So here's the drama. According to Nationwide News investigations, not one of these 10 Chinese mechanics at Wholehearted Car Services holds a valid Jamaican work permit. Let me break it down. No permits issued, no applications filed, no real explanation apart from a mysterious 876 number and a man known only by his first name. Sounds more like a plot from a Netflix scammer documentary than an actual business, right? The so-called manager, Mr. Ming Hen Chen, does have a work permit, but it's for selling haberdasheries in Mandeville, Manchester. That's right, he's licensed to sell buttons and ribbons, not to oversee an illegal auto garage. Jamaica, how did we reach here? So even manager no have no work permit for a manager operate one garage, one auto shop. Should Jamaican jobs always go to Jamaicans first? Or if foreigners do a better job, it's fair game? Sound off in the comments below. And it's not just a small man hustle either. Social media videos show queues from 3 a.m. Motorists fighting for a spot. The facility can only service 30 cars a day. Every day looks like a party, except the guests of honor forgot their immigration papers. And now the Labor Ministry has stepped in to shut it down, pending investigations. But what if I told you that's not even the biggest problem yet? Stay tuned. Preliminary investigations show that maybe, just maybe, 2 out of the 10 Chinese workers might have valid permits. Translation: 80% definitely illegal, 20% maybe illegal. And get this, no professional certifications even required for auto mechanics under Jamaica's permit laws. That means even if they had applied, it would have raised more questions about skills verification, immigration fraud, and unfair labor practices. And speaking of fraud, wait until you hear about the mystery agent who processed the permits. Well, if that's the case, them not supposed to out here. You see me? I do no farmer mechanic work. And more importantly, even if they have certification, it's in Mandarin. How can we validate the authenticity of their mechanical certificate from anywhere where they come from in China? How we are going to say real? That is another question again. It can be fake Team Chinese or Team Jamaican mechanics. Pick your side and defend it in the comments. Let's go. Under Jamaican law, every non-Jamaican worker, Chinese, American, Martian, must apply for a permit before touching a job. It's a 6 to 10 week process involving resumes, background checks, and proof that no local can fill the role. But somehow, 10 workers skipped the entire system. No records, no approvals, no accountability. It raises a much bigger political question. Who is watching the gatekeepers and who benefits when the gates are wide open? So now, with the garage temporarily shut, Labor Ministry investigators are scrambling to pick up the pieces. Meanwhile, Jamaican motorists are left stranded once again between a rock and a hard place. Expensive, unreliable local services or illegal, miraculous Chinese mechanics. This is the story of modern Jamaica. Fast, loose, and somehow always one step away from chaos. And you can bet this is only the beginning. More investigations are coming, and the truth might be uglier than anybody expects. Stay tuned. Nobody finds it suspicious how fast this place blew up and how authorities only stepped in after the hype. Confidence or something cheaper? Comment, setup, or real problem below. Here's a summary of the highlights and the key points. 10 Chinese mechanics at Wholehearted Car Services have no valid Jamaican work permits. No applications for work permits were ever submitted. Manager Ming Hen Chen only has a permit for haberdashery sales, not mechanical work. Labor Ministry ordered garage closed pending investigation. Preliminary findings: only 2 out of 10 workers may have valid permits. Deeper systematic issues in immigration, work permit processing, and labor protections exposed. Political and legal fallout incoming. Let's listen to this excerpt from Nationwide News Network with Labor Minister Pernell Charles Jr. and make we hear what him have to say.
Anyone can tell you that they are anyone. And so a big part of the process is to ensure that we are connecting names to identity in the right way. Which is why I say very carefully that we can confirm that 2 names that we have been given are connected appropriately to work permits relating to a haberdashery. We are in the middle of an active investigation, and so I can't speak to the specific status of those individuals, but what I can assure you is that it is a cross-cutting investigation, and we are examining all aspects, including documentation, legal status, everything that is required to ensure compliance with the law. The team that interacted with them today did provide them with certain instructions. Among those instructions I know would be that until we can conclude positively, or until whatever breaches, if any, that are identified are rectified, that they should not be operating. The officers from our work permit unit would have provided them with a clear guideline of what is necessary and indicated to them that if they do not have the relevant work permit to operate this specific type of business, they are to shut down their operation until otherwise. We recognize that they have been operating, that there are many Jamaicans that have been seeking and receiving service from them, and we don't want persons to get the impression that we're trying to stifle or create barriers the commerce. That is not our intention. That is not our responsibility. Our responsibility is to make sure that while we facilitate commerce, it must be done in compliance with the law to protect those members of the public who are seeking to take advantage of those services.
Do you think the authorities are really gonna crack down, or will this get swept under the rug like everything else? Drop your predictions below. Receipts will be checked later. The mere fact say me not hear nobody in the Ministry of Labour talk about deportation. It speaks to the heavy political influence where Chinese have in Jamaica, and that no look good. That no sound good. That I women not hear nobody talk about. These Chinese men should be deported because them break the law. They are working here illegally. So me no want nobody come to Jamaica and feel like say Jamaica is one big free for all, and Jamaica and nobody where you can come and take advantage of the system, cause we slow and we fool and we not no sense, and we no feel like we no can outsmart we or no smarter than we, so we can take advantage of the loopholes we in the system. We should be talking about deportation and send them back on the next flight to China, because if I did America, Canada, England, any major first world country, a straight deportation back to their country. Then can't stay in the country and sort out them work permit. No, a straight deportation, because you disrespected the laws of the land by working illegally. And then to add insult to injury, una try get illegal fraudulent work permits, which is another major disrespect to our country. Yes, me know say you have whole heap of mechanics out here where I do some poor job and them a charge a arm and a leg. So them really cause the problem. That's why you see people line up from 3 a.m. in the morning. People even asleep for overnight to make sure say them first get through. That's how bad some mechanics in Jamaica treat us as Jamaicans when we carry a vehicle go get them. You see me? It come like it hard for you find a real mechanic. One will have ethics, integrity, and good moral values. Where if you tell us say, yo, a 4 spark plug you want, a 4 you want. If you tell us say a 4 coil you want, a 4 coil you want. You know, tell us say you need this and you need that. And when you check it out, he might bill auto parts, place offer all and customer them. He might broke all of them foot car, he might make them buy parts where they don't need. And him take the brand new parts and sell it to other customers, and him and him triple or quadruple food after people them kind constantly broke them foot. So are them bad mechanic there and mash up a market. So this is why you see people willing to go the extra mile for sleep from overnight or in a long line from 3 a.m. and these people only can deal with 30 cars per day. That's very efficient. Me not think you understand the efficiency. That is super efficient. 30 cars per day? That not normal. So imagine if they get 10 more, cause that they would expand to 10 more workers. That are 60. You see me? 60 cars per day. So just do the maths. 30 workers equals 90 cars per day. And the real issue we have with this is we know enough of man them at Jamaica, a robby customer them and a overcharge. So I them make this bad. But me no want a man come here from one next country and put locals out of business, because based on Jamaican laws, we already have locals, competent local mechanics to fix all of the vehicle them where we drive. So we don't need no Chinese mechanics based on Jamaican laws. If it was something where Jamaicans cannot do, then so be it. But we have competent mechanics. We don't need them. We have mechanics who even graduate from places like Jagas and other hard trust institutions, certified, well competent. Jamaica not short of skilled labor, you know. What Jamaica short of is tradesmen we have good moral character. Tradesmen where no feel like say, oh, they forget rich off of them client in a one go. Cause that's enough of them goal, you know. Forget rich off of one man. So they overcharge you. Want get rich quick. So things like them, they damage the system, but we not short of skilled labor. And I can tell you this, no Jamaican mechanic can leave Jamaica and go to China and open a mechanic shop. Them not go allow that, because them have skilled labor force in China, skilled mechanics, we can work on and service all our vehicle them where they in China. So they don't need you. So you now go get the go ahead for do that in China. Never. And even if you do get the go ahead, no Chinese will come and support you. These people are very proud. They stick to their own kind. You see me? They are very patriotic and they are nationalist. So they now choose you as a black man over their own. You have to know that will never happen. So I don't want nobody come here and feel like so they can disrespect Jamaican laws. We're supposed to talk about deportation. You see me? Jamaica go on too nice. I don't know what kind of deal them people have with the Chinese government. Cause yes, we borrow money from them for build roads. But guess what? We borrow the money. And if I beg, we beg the money. And if I get, we get the money. So we have to pay a fee. It's a loan. So even though China is somewhat of a business partner to Jamaica, I feel like Chinese are going to benefit more in the long run from these loans than Jamaica. Because Mr. Chin always have a long-term planning on. Mr. Chin play the long game. So him have to always benefit more from the deal before him can actually make the deal. But me no want no Chinese Jamaica. I come to Jamaica and I set up shop and I put or I compete with locals and I put locals out of business. Because that's what America did. That's what the rich billionaire oligarchs in America did. They outsource and ship most of their manufacturing and labor over to China and shut down all of the companies and ship them to China for cheap labor. But in the long term, China benefit more than America. Meanwhile, the rich billionaires in America put thousands and millions of Americans out of job when they lock down the factories and send them to China. It damage America in the long run. So I hit Trump come and I cuss about now and I try correct and I try fix. So if we're not careful, we will end up having the same problem where man can left way in a China and feel like he can come here, come undercut the market and put locals who already have the skill and know-how out of jobs. You get me? But the local mechanics them where I do a bad service and I overcharge the people them and I rob the people them, uno forget burnout. Uno definitely need to get burnout. Big up the good mechanic them, cause you have good mechanics.
The only person exempt from needing a permit to work in Jamaica is a diplomat, a person married to a Jamaican, or a CARICOM national covered under the Free Movement of Skilled Persons Act of 1997. Work permits are granted for a period of up to 3 years and attract a non-refundable processing fee of $17,250. Once the work permit letter is granted, the applicant may use that letter to enter Jamaica. However, they must obtain an extension of stay at the Passport, Immigration and Citizenship Agency to allow them to extend their time in Jamaica beyond the time initially given on entry. They are also required to have the work permit endorsed in their passport. It can take anywhere between 6 and 10 weeks to process an application for a work permit. When approved, the employer is required to pay the work permit fee upon receiving the notice of approval. An application for a work permit in excess of 30 days must be accompanied by a cover letter addressed to the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Labour and Social Security. That cover letter must state the efforts made to recruit a Jamaican to undertake the work contemplated. The letter must also state the expected duration of the work to be undertaken by the applicant. A resume must be included with the application for a work permit. Additionally, a letter of recommendation from the applicant's previous employer or evidence of the applicant's business activity abroad must accompany the application for a work permit. There's a list of 14 professions, occupations, or trades for which an applicant for a work permit must submit their professional certificates. The list includes accountants, attorneys at law, medical lab technicians, architects, dentists, barbers, engineers, land surveyors, doctors, nurses, fisherfolk, and teachers. At least for the Chinese workers at WH Care Services, the list does not include auto mechanics. Dana Davey for Nationwide News.
Thanks for watching. If you found this breakdown helpful, smash that like button, drop a comment telling me your thoughts on the illegal Chinese garage scandal, and most importantly, subscribe for more real political analysis. Until next time, stay awake, stay sharp, and keep watching Jamaica's political theater unravel.